What's up, everybody? Coach Mills here, coming at you with a brand new Valorant video. And in the Valorant competitive landscape, there are certain types of teammates that you'll get in your games regardless of where you rank among the spectrum. So we're gonna be breaking down the 10 types of teammates that you get in ranked. But in order to hard carry them all, you're gonna need to go to the Game Leap website right now in the links down below for in-depth advanced VODs, tips and tricks, map guides, agent courses, and much, much more. Do yourself a favor, go check it out in the links down below. But without further ado, let's jump into this video. Now, the first type of teammate that everyone can definitely relate to, and heck, you might even be this person yourself, and it's the all aim, no brain. Notoriously known to be either grinding aim labs or OSU for a full-time job's worth of time in a week, and this type of player shoots first and thinks later. Now, that being said, they tend to actually connect with a lot of their headshots, but when it comes to any rotation, decision-making, tap spiking, rapping, anything like that, you have no idea how this person is in your rank until all of a sudden they click 3 heads out of nowhere, and then you just feel sad that they can just click their way into your rank and even above your rank. Now, that being said, as depressing as the all aim, no brain type of teammate, at least they are contributing to every team fight. But the next type of teammate that you're getting in your ranked play is just gonna tilt you off the entire planet. And I like to call this category control thy sound. And these are people that can't seem to not make a ton of noise when you and your team are just trying to be sneaky. Whether your whole team is walking up and they reload when they've only shot 1 bullet, or they just randomly start swinging their knife around, jumping and running out of nowhere. Whatever the case may be, these type of players cannot control the sound, and often they're not the ones that get penalized for it. It's you and your team, and this is one of the most annoying type of teammates that you could possibly get in ranked play. Now, the next person that you're going to be getting in your ranked games can be a good person some of the time, but the other 90% of the time, they're just absolutely awful, and it's the Perma flank watcher. This is someone that just sits on the flank, never comes, never refrags, never pushes in with the team. He has one purpose, and it's to watch the flank. And typically it happens when an enemy maybe gets off one good flank, and they just will not let it happen again, so they just watch the flank and watch the flank. As icing on the cake, this type of player, more often than not, actually loses the duel to a flanker anyways. So not only do you have someone that is not contributing to the team fight, but is actually giving the enemy a free pick. So if you ever played with someone like this, you gotta smash that like and subscribe right away. But moving on to the fourth type of teammate that you get in ranked, and it's insta-locking Jet or Reynas who bottom frag. Now, these are notoriously not only just the most picked, but the most insta-locked, and every single time someone locks these, you just have a big question mark going into your game, because they might pop off and, you know, do what those characters are intended to do, which is rack up a lot of kills, have high impact, but they also might be the worst player on your team, and you never know which one you're gonna get. So this is the coin flip Jet and Reyna, but every once in a while, you get a Jet and Reyna that just absolutely slaughters the entire enemy team, most likely a Smurf for just having an insanely good game, and it just always leaves you guessing. You never know when the game is just gonna be an easy win, an easy loss, or something that you're just gonna have to fight tooth and nail for, but maybe that's some of the fun of Valorant, am I right? Now, moving on to the fifth type of teammate that I'm sure that you get in your ranked games, and this one, in my opinion, is the most annoying, and it's passive-aggressive sighing into the mic. And not just sighing like, but they literally press their push-to-talk button so that everyone in the game can hear them actually upset without saying they're upset. This is probably the most passive-aggressive thing that anyone could ever do. They don't call anyone out, they don't speak into the mic, they don't do anything rather than just pushing their push-to-talk to literally make a unworded noise that just tells everyone that they're pissed off. Now, I know sometimes when people do this, it's gonna get you tilted right off the bat, right? Sometimes you already know that they're mad and they just wanna rile people up and like show the disdain, but my personal tactic for this is just to ask them, say, what got you down, buddy? Or just something like that, just joking with them, and maybe they start going off on you and yelling, but then it's at least funny. At least they're talking rather than just being so passive aggressive at the very least. Now, the next type of player or teammate that you get in your ranked games is none other than the Micromanager. And this is the person that literally wants to coordinate every single step you take, when you reload, who you shoot at, and just on and on and on. Now, I'm not talking about people, you know, saying where to rotate to or give you information about what's going on. I'm talking about people that literally dictate every single thing that you're doing right or wrong and tell you exactly what to do every single given team fight while you're in the middle of the round. As bonus points, the Micromanager loves to talk to you or tell you exactly what to do from the grave, you know, because they're not dead. They're living vicariously through you who didn't feed. Now, I know this is kind of toxic, but, you know, at number 6, you know, the Micromanager, I automatically think of Ninja. Sorry, Ninja, you know, I'm sorry, but this is who I think of when I think of number 6. But moving on to number 7, this is the one who W keys too hard and complains about no refrag. Now, this is really obvious when a player maybe in the low ranks is on a literal flank and he complains about refrag, but in the higher ranks, a lot of times this is like a Jet that just like psycho dashes in, her whole team is smoked off or maybe even slowed or whatever the case may be, and she goes in, does like a little bit of damage and then dies and says, why aren't y'all pushing in? Why aren't y'all pushing in? Now, I'm absolutely sure that a lot of you resonate with this type of person because this can be a very frustrating type of person to deal with because yeah, they're not baiting and they could say, why y'all baiting me? But that's not what baiting is. We're not baiting you. We're trying to bait out cooldowns and set up a push in, and we cannot follow you through mounds and mounds of utility. Just because your Jet or Raze doesn't mean we can chase your giant amounts of mobility. Now, moving on to the next player that you're gonna get in your ranked games. So there's actually one for low ranks and one for high ranks. First off, in the low ranks, we're talking about a Texas-sized Crosshair. And this is when you run into players that literally have a Crosshair that covers a giant amount of their screen, bonus points if it moves, but you don't know how these guys get kills, but sometimes they actually manage to frag out. And you're just like, okay, whatever works for you, man. But it's just really hilarious when they have a Crosshair that covers their freaking entire monitor. But the inverse to this are the people that literally don't look like they have a Crosshair. It's nearly invisible, or, you know, like someone like Notoriously Scream who had a Crosshair for a while that just looked like it didn't exist at all, but they still managed to make it work with the little speckle, you know, piece of dust on their screen. But, you know, we can't complain because these are the type of people that usually frag the most, if I'm being honest. Now, moving on to the number 9th, the 9 type of person that you get often in your ranked games, and it's the Inaccurate Calls. And this is really funny when someone says, hey, he's one shot, and you shoot him once and he doesn't die. And you're like, one shot? What the heck do you mean one shot? I mean, this is a game where it literally tells you the damage, the exact damage number you did to a guy. So how in the world are you getting it wrong how much damage is on somebody? That is just call out how much damage they have on them so that you know yourself. It's just not very hard, but a lot of times this ends up getting you killed. Or incorrect location, where a person, you know, they see a person, you know, ramps or whatever the case may be, 10 seconds go by, they don't know if that person rotated off, but they call ramps anyways. You swing ramps with intent and, you know, you just get headshotted and you're like, what the heck? Yeah, this is the terrible caller, incorrect calls, inaccurate calls, and yeah, this one is very tilting because this one legitimately creates scenarios where you actually just, you know, lose rounds because of bad calls. Now, the last one on the list, the number 10 that you get in your ranked games, and a lot of times this one is not necessarily intentional, but it is the most frustrating, and if you agree with me, you got to smash that like button here, and it's the body blocker. Maybe the enemy Raze popped her ult, and instead of you wanting to run away because the Raze is so far away, there's no way she can catch up to y'all, someone wants to stand their ground, and you run into them, and then they don't kill the Raze, and you all freaking die. Or maybe you're trying to jiggle peek shoot someone, and when you try to unjiggle, an ally is literally blocking your path, and it gets you killed. Body blocking is just very frustrating in this game because collisions with bodies is something that is unnatural. It's really hard to play around sometimes, and it just feels very weird. And a lot of times it's gonna get damage on you or it's gonna get you killed. So body blocking is definitely one of my least favorite ones on the list, even if sometimes it feels kind of unavoidable. But that being said, if there's any other types of teammates that you get in your ranked games, definitely let me know what your top teammate type that you get in your ranked games, if you have any other ones that you can add to the list. But go to the Game Leap website in the links down below for in-depth advanced VODs, tips and tricks, and in-depth Radiant VODs that are going to teach you exactly what you need to do to hard carry even all of these terrible teammates that you have on your team. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for coming by. Happy late New Year's if you didn't hear it from my last video, but I love yo faces. See you tomorrow.